With AI this good, who needs friends? Ooh, damn. That's a statement that dooms the world, doesn't it? Hello there everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Joseph, and in today's Granblue Fantasy Relink video, we're going to be discussing AI companions and optimizing them for solo play. Because while it's almost certainly preferable from both a social and a gameplay standpoint to play through all the missions in GBR with 3 friends or through the game's matchmaking, which has been improved since launch but it still isn't quite perfect, some people might prefer to go it alone and not have to worry about organising a group of people to play the game with. And as someone who played through a lot of the missions, including some of the Proud missions, by myself using the AI, they're surprisingly competent and can easily allow you to play through the entire game by yourself if so desired. But of course, in order to do that, we have to look at our companions slightly differently than we would if they were human players. And after seeing this particular Reddit thread showcasing AI partner sigils by Dusty Tibbins, who actually mentioned videos that they've made in their thread, I don't have a link to them, but if you happen to have one, I'd love to showcase their videos as well, so thank you very much for that post. I was inspired to make a video to talk more about AI companions in general. I do also want to give a quick shout out to the Granblue Fantasy Relink community, because recently videos for me have been doing extremely well for GBR, and I have finally broken my 20k subscriber curse that I've had for like the last year, and I'm absolutely elated by it. You have no idea what it means. So if you've enjoyed any of my videos, whether they be GBR videos or any other videos that I've done, or if you've stuck by me through thick and thin since Dissidia, since Final Fantasy TCG, I'm actually extremely grateful to you. So while it's really nice to sort of crack out your AI companions, it's by no means better than having a full party of human players. AI characters don't have access to potions, for example, and if optimizing time in missions is important to you, you'll almost certainly want to have real people to chuck out mass damage with optimized builds. But where the AI does do less damage overall than most human players, they kind of make up for it by their survivability. The AI is shockingly good at dodging large-scale attacks, even in Proud difficulty. They're not perfect at it, but they're extremely competent at it. So if matchmaking makes you worry about random players not being able to keep up, which, you know, everyone plays at their own pace, we should never judge people, but some people do get frustrated, then this will help circumvent that. So I'm going to use Rackham here as my example of building up a character to be specifically set up to be controlled by the AI. And I know I use Rackham a lot in my videos, but not only is he the character that I have built most because I've only one step off from maxing out his Ascension weapon, I do think he's a great example of a damage dealing character that works really well with the AI, as is showcased by how well he behaves in full assist mode, like I've showcased in my AFK farming videos. Rackham is a constant stream of damage. He can attack the enemy from anywhere, whether they're flying or not, and he performs as such whether he's played by a human or an AI. Due to the AI knowing very well how to dodge, I don't need to worry too much about consistent damage if Rackham is on my AI team. I can just leave him to his own devices and the damage will come. Now, every character can work with the AI if they're built correctly, just like a human player. But somebody like Vasaraga or Gandagoza might have a little more trouble getting in because the AI is so heavily leaned towards dodging attacks that they need to be right up close to do what they do best, and they might be spending their time dodging away from the enemy rather than towards them. Building up skills on AI characters with sigils and weapon stones is fairly self-explanatory because, much like a human player, damage cap is going to remain key for AI players. You want to do as much damage as possible to cut down on time. Now, my sigils are not maxed out. I've been farming a load of sigils, obviously not the materials to level them up yet. So these stats can actually be much higher than what I'm showcasing here. But some fiddling might be needed to get their damage optimized, as it would be for your own character through things like stamina or tyranny, or even attack up if you really wanted it. There's lots of different ways to kind of get around that, and if you happen to have the legendary sigils for your characters, then obviously you're going to want to whack that on too. Now, Potion Hoarder obviously isn't going to be necessary for an AI character because they can't use potions anyway, but some strong sigils to consider, and Dusty's post I'll refer to again quite rightly here, would be Guts and Auto Revive. Both of these sigils will help your characters to survive attacks, because the way that, you know, losing a mission works is if you get knocked out, you have a bar that runs down, and if it runs to 0, that's when you lose the mission. So having AI characters not go down easily is going to be beneficial. Now, I actually have Guts and Auto Revive attached to secondary stats on my Sigils, so I don't actually have to worry about it too much, and I can have them available pretty regularly, and I don't have to level these up all the way, because all it does is make it so that they become active again quicker. Obviously it's nicer if you have it, but just by giving them those sigils it makes a difference. It's even something you might want to consider using for your own character, depending on your pride in your skills. I mean, I use them, to be honest. Beyond that, generally useful skills, things like Cascade, Quick Cooldown, Uplift is something you might want to consider when it comes to AI characters, because having the SBA gauge go off more frequently is going to add up damage-wise. And a little tip for you with that I'll bring up in a future video is if the AI triggers it first, you'll get the full ring go around to get you to trigger it. If you see that your other AI companions are ready, let them go first, because you have that ring or timer going down time to deal additional damage before you actually trigger your own. Whereas if you trigger yours first, the AI will immediately trigger theirs after each instance, so you'll get a little bit more damage by waiting. God forbid you have more than one of them. If you have a war elemental or just a really strong sigil that just works generally, you'll obviously want to whack that on there. Now, defensive sigils in general, you probably don't need to worry about if you've maxed the character out in other ways. But if you don't have enough sigils to go around for the offensive slots, it is harder to build up 4 characters than it is 1. Just filling out the slots with what you have will work fine. You should always put yourself first. So going back to the potion issue, and this is also wonderfully highlighted in Dusty Tibbins' post, having characters who are capable of healing themselves and those around them are going to be more highly desirable than those who can't. And you will have to forgive the mess that is my party. You can see I've been playing around with sigils and power and all sorts of things a lot lately. As it means that in a situation where a character has been hit, and it does happen, they're going to be more able to recover themselves without you having to crack a blue potion in order to save them. Characters with healing abilities include Io, Catalina, Bran, Ferry, Cagliostro. There are others as well. I mentioned in a previous video that characters with potent buffs, the debuffs were really good to choose early, and I stand by that comment as well for those playing through the game up until the hardest difficulties and you start hitting damage caps and stuff. So Cagliostro and Gran can both provide those as well, but you might want to consider sort of playing around with the skills around once you've got the need to buff a bit less than you had before. Cagliostro actually also happens to have a revival skill that can prove extremely useful, which is something to consider as well, but having sigils like Guts and Auto Revive can circumvent the need for this so that you can focus more on damage if you want to. Any character that has crowd control abilities can also be extremely well performed by the AI. Not just by opening the enemy up to additional damage, but by also making it safer for them to continue fighting. And typically, the AI actually does a pretty good job of not overlapping these effects. So characters like Percival, which is another character I recommended as an early pick, Catalina again, and Lancelot can come in very handy too. Now, I wouldn't worry too much about counter-attacking, as the AI is so capable of dodging, they're not going to need it. And I also wouldn't worry about skills that either reduce damage or make the party invincible, or something like Vayne's bubble for invincibility with the AI, as I don't trust 100% or guarantee that the AI will use it correctly or keep hold of those skills and not put them on cooldowns for the times in which you'd actually need them. By and large, my favourite characters to give to the AI have been Cagliostro for just having so many support abilities that are useful throughout the game and even at the end. Percival, because he has an incredibly powerful slow ability and his damage is fantastic. I've also used a lot of Siegfried because his damage output is just really strong, though recently, now that I'm not playing Rackham, I have actually changed him for Rackham to be my AI damage dealer for that more consistent stream of damage. Bran as well is another choice that I think is really good just because of the malleability of the character. I don't play him very much, but he is very good for what you can use him for. And then Catalina, because she has the buffs, she has healing, she has the crowd control, and her damage is pretty solid as well. But I'd like to hear from you. Who are your favourite characters to give to the AI? Just comment down below, and if you're not sure what to comment, I always say this in every video, and some of you guys do this, and it always makes me smile every time it happens. just type the word algorithm in. It's been helping me a great deal as a YouTuber, so I'm extremely grateful for every comment I see that just says algorithm. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about AI companions. Let me know in the comments below, like I said, what your favourite characters are, and thank you ever so much for watching this video, and thank you ever so much again for helping me to hit 20,000 subscribers. I'm going to make a proper post about that in the future because I really am extremely grateful. But for the time being, if you've enjoyed what you've seen today, consider subscribing to the channel and maybe we'll hit 25k, who knows. And like the video, hit the notification bell, all that stuff that YouTubers tell you to do, you know what I'm talking about. And if you've enjoyed the video a lot and you want to support the channel further, perhaps consider checking the link out in the description box below for my Patreon channel, where you can get all sorts of various benefits like artwork that I make specifically for you, title cards that go in all my videos, all sorts of other bits and pieces. But for now, thank you ever so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.